What's up, Instagram? I am 5 minutes late to my own pre-show. Sorry, I had charged my phone. It was dying. Okay, so again, we're starting this new process of doing pre-shows before the Candace show airs, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I'm going to talk about guests on the show, present guests, past guests, and kind of update you on my stories today because I am sure that you are probably wondering where that came from and why I want to talk about women that false accuse a bit. But first up, I want to talk about tonight. The guest on the show is Jenelle Evans Eason. Jenelle, you have probably watched from the time she was on 16 and Pregnant. I watched her on 16 and Pregnant when I was younger. I watched her on Teen Mom. She had probably the wildest story on Teen Mom. There was constantly like screaming. I mean, literally, I can hear her mother saying, Jenelle, Jenelle, Jenelle. Constantly watching scenes of her and her mother bickering. So, Jenelle had sent out, kind of saying, I'd love to come on the show or whatever. And I said, great, book her. I think it'd be interesting to talk to her about her experiences on MTV as a Teen Mom person. Also, just interesting that Teen Mom, we had Bristol Palin on the week before. She didn't have a good experience on Teen Mom, which she opened up to us about and said that she felt like they were looking for drama. So I was very curious to kind of talk to Jenelle about that. Like, is MTV using, teenagers to kind of make millions of dollars? And then, obviously Jenelle notoriously got dropped from Teen Mom because her now husband, David Eason, shot the dog. Very interesting. Obviously, I asked her about it, so you can hear what her response was to that. And it was interesting what the response was. Just going to tell you what my personal opinion is of Jenelle. I was very surprised. She was very likable. She came across as very put together, very kind, very gentle, was very self-deprecating in a sense. Like, she was very much like, I don't really know much about this or know much about that. I don't really understand this or understand that. I am who I am. I make TikTok videos. She was very kind-hearted is the best way that I would say it. And I definitely asked her about her drug addictions in the past. And obviously, she has been vocal about that. We saw it on Teen Mom, so it's not like she was going to pretend she wasn't arrested, 27 times, however many times it was. And I wanted to really ask her about that. I remember there were literally episodes where she was nodding out. She was on heroin. And she, ahead of coming on the show, did not say, please don't ask me this or I can't say that. She was an open book. And, I feel bad for Teen Mom, people that are on the Teen Mom series for so long, because Jenelle gave MTV 9 years of her life, right? From the time that she was a kid, now she's 29 years old, I think she told me. And then they just dropped her like a hot potato. They were fine to film her when she was nodding out on drugs. They were fine to film her when she was fighting with her mom. And then her boyfriend, her then boyfriend, shoots the dog. I think actually he was her husband at the time. And they make it seem like this was like, this is the reason we're cutting ties with her, whatever it is. And she, like I said, she has a very interesting response to what happened with that entire episode. So I think you guys will be really interested to see it. David Eason did not have the best opinion of him going into shooting it. I think MTV did a really good job of presenting him as just like a bad guy. And I could not have had a more different opinion of him when I met him. He, stood up straight, shook my hand, said, I'm a big fan. And, I'm really happy to be here. And thank you so much for doing this and allowing us to get our story out. And I think that's what happens on reality TV is they kind of decide on who the villain is and they paint you into a corner. I deeply respected. He told me, when they met, he was a welder, and you guys know how much I respect men who work with their hands. And he is just, he's a worker, you know what I mean? And stepped into this whole MTV world. He got canceled from the show allegedly for saying homophobic comments. What he said, somebody asked him about would he ever let his child hang out with a trans child or an adult that supports the trans movement, something like that. And he said no, because if you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. And they made a big deal out of it and made it seem like he was correlating trans people to dogs. But that's an expression, which means that, like, hang out with crazy people, do crazy things. Up to you if you would allow your child to hang out with, a family of trans kid or someone that believes you can pick your gender. But yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting because like I said, I found them both to be very likable. It's very obvious to me that this girl is not on drugs anymore. I think that is so commendable that she got off of heroin. Not many people do that. So it was just interesting to see the adult and not the child that we were so used to seeing on TV. So I think you're going to see a different side to Jenelle tonight, and allow her to answer for all of the things that she was canceled for and what her husband was canceled for. So I'm going to give them thumbs up. I was very pleasantly surprised. I liked Jenelle, and I liked David Eason. I thought he was a stand-up guy. Okay. Secondly, on the show, so this monologue that you're going to see is about Israel and Palestine, because I was so shocked when all the fighting was going on, people were hitting me up telling me that if I didn't use my platform to speak out for Israel or for Palestine, then somehow I was guilty. Candace, there's, you know how the internet is. There's blood on your hands unless you speak out on behalf of Israel. There's blood on your hands unless you speak out on behalf of the Palestinians. And I'm so tired of people wanting me to talk about things that I know nothing about. I'm not a fraud. And that's kind of what I wanted to use this episode to tell you. I'm not a fraud. I'm not going to pretend that I became an expert on Middle Eastern conflicts overnight because it's trending on Twitter. And for every person that slid into my DMs and told me to be fraudulent and take a stance on something that is obviously very complicated, you don't need to follow me. I'm not going to speak because you want me to speak. I am not a circus animal. I don't do things. I am not one of those conservatives that you follow and pretend they know about everything. No matter what question you ask them, they're like, oh, here's my perspective, and they give you some really fake, rehearsed answer. I can't stand it. I think there are so many people left and right that are just fake. You know what I mean? Like, to pretend they have an opinion and a passion about everything. I think if you know something and you care about something, speak out. If you don't, shut up. And while you're shutting up, try to learn about something. And that is what I've spent the last week or so doing about the Israel-Palestine thing. I don't have an opinion yet because I'm still learning, and I'm allowed to still learn, and I don't care if you think that that somehow, makes me a bad person. You don't get to use my followers to make me say things that I don't believe in. So, that's where I'm at. We had a very interesting panel. We had Lauren Chen on. I don't know if you guys know who she is. I really like this girl. I don't know. She's different. She's super intellectual, super smart. And she really challenged Cabot Phillips, who works for Daily Wire, who, was very, passionately pro-Israel. And she was not, she wasn't like pro-Palestine or pro-Israel, but she kind of challenged him to there was a little bit of back forth there. And she's kind of like, making him explain his positions. And it was interesting because one of the things that she said that she pushed back on was that the idea that, because a lot of people were saying in order to be pro-American, you have to be pro-Israel. There's some quotation that people say, a lot of conservatives say. And she kind of very politely pushed back on that point and said, I'm Canadian. I would never say in order, we're allies, but doesn't mean you should give people this either or, that unless you speak out and say something about Israel, then you're not pro-American. So you're going to see that back forth between them that I thought was super interesting. Respect them both. They were both great. And it was just awesome to see, I guess, just authenticity, where I think having the courage to just say, you know what, I don't know yet. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I don't know enough about things, and I don't ever want to make you guys jump on a bandwagon until I know, that I know something. I just want to be authentic, and I want to keep being authentic. And I got into politics that way, and I want to just maintain that. So I think you guys will super enjoy the panel this week. So that's that. Following up on just basically, oh, by the way, how am I forgetting? If you are not yet a member of Daily Wire, you can use my code TRUSTTHESCIENCE. Yes, you can get 20% off if you put in my code TRUSTTHESCIENCE. Isn't that the best code ever? Trust the science. I just realized that I'm about as much of a scientist as Dr. Fauci, and whatever he says goes, whatever I say goes. And you guys should go to dailywire.com/subscribe, put in the code Trust the Science, and you'll get 20% off. By the way, everybody that's watching this, are you a member actually? Are you watching my show? Like, if when I do these things, are you like, oh, I just like Candace, or are you actually a member of the show? I'm looking at these comments. Yes, no, maybe. I'm curious. Come on, go actually log on dailywire.com, subscribe, put in Trust the Science, and become a member, because I think I am creating really a lot of content that I'm super proud of. I write every element of the show. I don't have a bunch of people writing and telling me things to say. It's all me. And even my monologues, it's just me riffing. There's no written script. It's just me talking to you guys. So I hope that somebody just said, Shapiro can teach you all about the Jewish side of it. I trust you. That's a good point. Shapiro is passionate about Israel. He has studied a lot. He has a lot of opinions about the conflict. Go to Ben Shapiro. If Israel and Palestine are going at it, don't tell me that I have to speak out on it. Let Ben speak out on it because he knows about it and he's passionate about it. Anyways, trust the science is the code tonight. Do it. I want at least one. Oh, I remember 100%. Thank you, Joshin. I try to snap from Canada and it won't let me. Try again, because people from Canada are definitely members. dailywire.com/subscribe. Trust the science is the code. Trust the science. Thank you to Liz Higgins for saying that you love the show. No, it is expensive. It's not expensive, Malulu. If you use code trust the science, you can become a member. Yes, K Boeing is signing up right now. I want 1,000 signups right now from doing this live. Before I get into this last part, I want 1,000 signups. Seriously, please subscribe to me. Trust the science is the code. Daily Wire. Okay, so a lot of you guys have been like kind of following, obviously, the whole back forth last week with the whole saga with Nicole Arbours, and today I kind of followed up on it, and it was just kind of like serendipitous that a lot of things happened today that kind of led me to believing that I should actually say more. I have been, and by the way, trust me, I have had people being like, why do you care about this, Candace? You're so much bigger than her, blah, 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 blah. And I want to make it very clear to you guys why I do care about this situation when women falsely accuse men. I have always been a dragon when it comes to women that falsely accuse men. And I was talking to one of my producers today, and I was like, I don't even know where this came from. And then actually now I do remember a family member of mine who I'm very close to dealt with a custody dispute. And a lot of times when women, want to get something done in the courts, they just make up a lie. And they're allowed to make up this lie, and suddenly they say a man is abusing them or they're doing something. And the idea is that you can get whatever you want if you just say that you're a victim of abuse. And so I am very, very vocal and very passionately against women that false accuse men. First and foremost, because it smears them. And it's not a smear that just lasts a couple of days. It lasts their entire lifetimes. And, there's not a guy that can come up and just say, oh, well, the charges were dropped, and people don't go, oh, but why were the charges ever there in the first place? The idea is to make men carry that for the rest of their lives. And women know that when they lie. And by the way, when a woman false accuses a guy, it doesn't just do a disservice to that man. It does a disservice to women everywhere. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everywhere. Because there are actual women who are victims of real abuse. I also have another cousin who was a victim of actually being, beat by her boyfriend. I took her to the police station. And when I see women that false accuse and use these sorts of things to get what they want, I'm going to be passionate about it. And I know that I get advice all the time. You guys know I don't have any PR person. I do all my own stuff. I manage my own Instagram accounts. It is actually Candace behind everything. And people always say to me, Candace, well, you have this many followers now, so you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't say that. And it's I got to where I am by being real and by being passionate what I'm passionate about. I am passionate about false accusers. I am passionate against women that lie. I was the first one who spoke out against the Me Too movement. See right there, Jackie, speak up against anti-Semitism. It's why are you asking me? Obviously I don't like anti-anythingism. If you just hate white people, hate Jewish people, don't tell me to speak up about obvious things. Hate is a bad thing. You must be just tuning in, Jackie. We just talked about people trying to create pressure campaigns to make me speak up against things all the time, when it's I speak up about things I'm educated about. So you just interrupted me. You got me mad. Trust the science is the code. Log on and subscribe to Daily Wire now. Anyways, but going back to that. So, I realized that with this whole Nicole thing, I kind of was whatever, it's over, it's done. We had this blow up on the show last week. But in the process of this, I woke up this morning and somebody had sent me a link to an article about Ryan Upchurch, and it had said that Nicole Arbours had wanted him to pull down a video on YouTube, and so she went to a domestic violence clinic in Tennessee, and to get them to help her guide to get him to take down this video that he put on social media. I'll walk you through that situation and tell you why I wanted to use my platform to defend him. First and foremost, I have never spoken to Ryan Upchurch in my life. So there was no collusion on the back end. He did not hit me up, be like, hey, could you help me out? Nothing. This is just me using my platform to defend men when they have a right to be defended, period. So I saw this thing and I went, whoa, this is crazy. Like, you went to a domestic violence clinic, said you were scared, and got people at that clinic to help you go to a judge and file an emergency injunctive relief. I think I said that right. Which is essentially when the judge can slap down something and say, like, until we decide what's right or what's wrong, you have to do this. And that something that she wanted done was for Ryan Upchurch to take down a video. Now, I'm going to tell you the background of that video because I actually saw the video, and the fact that she did this to me is like, this is crazy. This is literally crazy. Like, it's just like, how can you do this to somebody, and for what reason? So, you know, the background of the feud is essentially, and from what I saw, obviously I was following her at the time. Nicole did a video, she did the video first, uploaded a video onto Instagram and was just like, I want to get ahead of this situation and tell you guys what's going on. I have a friend who left his wallet at my house, and I woke up and suddenly the police contacted me and said that I stole his wallet. And then she opens his wallet and is like, I didn't steal anything. Like, he left his wallet in my bathroom. I don't even know what's going on. Like, totally this whole like victim thing. And if you're like me and didn't know that she was dating the guy, nothing, you're like, oh, like, what a dirtbag Ryan Upchurch is. Like, why would Ryan Upchurch just accuse her of stealing a wallet and call the police on her? That was the video that she painted. I saw the video with my own two eyes. Opens the wallet, goes through it, and it's like, there's not even any money here. Why would I steal the wallet? Like, why would my friend do this to me? And then said, like, he's using it for publicity because he has an album coming out. So if you're a girl or a guy watching it, you're just like, man, what a horrible person Ryan Upchurch is, right? That was my thinking, right? Then Ryan Upchurch uploads a video, and this is obviously to defend himself because after that, a bunch of fans or non-fans went and started harassing him, being like, you're such a crappy person, you suck, you need to apologize for what you did, like, you suck, Ryan, you suck, you're horrible. And so obviously, if you're a guy and all these people are saying, like, you did this horrible thing, you're going to defend yourself. So then he did a YouTube video, which I also saw from start to finish, and he just dropped facts. Like, I mean, he literally said, I'm going to take you through exactly what happened. And when I say brought receipts, he just played the entire text chain between her and him. There's no denying it. You're reading it. He literally dropped the text messages so you could read what happened. And clearly what happened was they were together at her house, his house, wherever the heck they were, got into a fight, and he left her house, right? And after he leaves her house or whatever Airbnb, wherever she's staying in Tennessee, like, she was like, come back, babe, like, come back. And he was like, no, I'm not coming back, I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, you said some really messed up things to me, I'm leaving. And so he did the right thing, obviously got into a little bit of a tiff, and he left. And then he gets home and realizes that he left his wallet there. This is the backstory. And like, again, I'm not telling you because he said so. I read the messages, and he then sent his manager to get the wallet. I'm going to paraphrase for you. She refused to give the wallet, again, via text. He dropped a text message. She's like, no, he has to come get it. And he's like, I'm not going over there. She's crazy. People are trying to give us wallet for days, trying to give us wallet from her, and she wouldn't give it back. So he literally had to file a police report to get his wallet back. So again, everything she then said in that prior video was a lie. It just was a lie. There was no way to dispute it. There was nothing about, you don't know what's going on, you woke up the police, you don't know why it's happening. You know exactly what's happening. There's been 4 days of someone trying to get their wallet back. At that point, of course, the police officers tell you it's legally considered stolen. And so it exposed her as a liar, right? So like, if you're her, obviously you don't want this video on the internet because it shows that something's wrong, right? Like, you're like not all there. Like, you went up here and played victim when in reality all this dude wanted back was his wallet. The best thing a guy can do from any situation is to walk away. And his mindset, he said that he had seen another guy talking about how she does crazy stuff, so he didn't want to step back in that house. He didn't want to have communication with her to get his wallet back. He wanted his homie to just go pick it up, and she refused, and she was literally writing him a text messages like, I'm not giving the wallet back. If he wants it, he needs to come get it himself, blah, 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 blah. You know, it is what it is. He called the cops to get his wallet back. And because this video exposed her so much, she then decided that she wanted it taken down, and she went to the domestic violence clinic. And, like, it's just not okay. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know Ryan Upchurch. And then, you know, people then started messaging me, telling me she did the same thing to Matthew Santoro. Again, the thing that's interesting about this that really ties into what happened to me is that she starts the drama, right? She makes a video and she tells a lie, right? For me, she just made a video whiling out against me, and then suddenly I defend myself and she pretends she's the victim. And it's the language that she used when she gave the quote to the you know, whatever publication covered what she filed against Ryan to get this video taken down. She said, like, you know, I was scared for my life. You know, like, the idea that you were scared for your life because somebody dropped the receipts in text messages is like, come on, man. For real. Like, let's be serious. Like, let's be serious. And it was the exact same language that she used when she wanted us to take down the clip from the Daily Wire when she wanted that segment removed. She said the same exact thing. She said, and I'm paraphrasing here, she said, if this show airs, my life will be in danger. Like, these are very serious words to use. Like, your life will be in danger if we air what you said. It's not like I said something. Like, you put out allegations in the show. I didn't say any. I didn't say, you know, make those allegations. How would your life be in danger? And when a woman starts using language like, my life is going to be in danger, I'm scared for my life, like, it's about text messages, about a show, you know, that's dangerous rhetoric. And that's why I really wanted to issue that warning to conservatives, because I know that she kind of appeared out of nowhere in conservative circles, and we tend to be so embracing, and we should be, because, you know, sometimes people do have the lights turned on and, you know, suddenly are like, I want to, you know, rock with Trump and I want to do all this stuff, and great, like, the more the merrier. But when somebody is showing a pattern towards a lot of men, Matthew Santoro, similar story, said that she aggressed him and then pretended she was the victim. I said the similar story. I'm not a dude, aggressed me, and then said that she was the victim. Tommy Vexed, another person, said that she aggressed him and then pretended she was the victim. It's too many people that don't know each other that are telling you the same thing. And we have to look out for each other. And beyond that, men are victims. You know what I mean? Like, it makes us uncomfortable. Like, you know, and you know me, I'm the first one, bring back manly men, let that stuff burn down your chest. Like, I believe in all that stuff, but I'm not talking about false allegations. Men have to stand up and they should file reports against women. I'm a big believer that if a woman false accuses you, you should file a report against them. Don't just let it be like, oh, well, phew, I survived that one. Like, she has now dropped the charges against Ryan Upchurch, because she should drop the charges against Ryan Upchurch, because she lied, right? And, like, it is what it is. Like, I saw so much that she lied, but that's not enough to me. And I will always use my platform for as long as I have it to stand up for men. You know how I am. I believe men are victimized more and more and more and more. And again, there are real women that are domestic violence victims. And if you're watching this and thinking, well, some men are douchebags and do horrible things, I agree with you. I've seen those types of situations, which is why it makes women that false accuse even worse. Just a little update. Trust the Science is the code. I want at least 1,000 people signing up using the code. What is Creek Squad? I keep seeing this. What's Creek Squad? Creek Squad is not the code. Trust the Science is. Creek Squad sounds cool, though. Trust the Science is the code. dailywire.com/subscribe. Trust the Science. And the science says that women that false accuse, like, I think there's a special place in hell for them. From the bottom of my heart, I genuinely hope that she gets help. You know what I mean? Because I think that there's something's not right there. Like, because I don't understand people that create fires in their own life when things are going well. Like, I've never just been like, hey, here's this person, I'm just going to, like, throw gasoline and light a fire and then go, oh, why is it hot in here? You know? So I hope she gets the help that she needs. But I do want to say, and again, everyone advising me, Candace, you're bigger than these people. It's not about being bigger than anybody. It's about what's right and what's wrong. I don't care if my platform is bigger than Ryan Upchurch's, who, you know, he's a country singer, he's got a big platform himself. I don't care if like, it's not, you don't just go, oh, well, I don't look at things that are bad anymore or speak about them because I have more followers. That means nothing. At the end of the day, we are trying to make the world better. We know that we have to deal with a lot of, you know, bad people. We have to deal with a lot of bad movements. The Me Too movement was a bad movement that allowed a lot of good men to be taken down based on allegations. And I will always use my platform as a woman to stand up for men that are false accused. Similarly, if you're a guy and you did do something, and I know you did something, you're going to get blasted too. It's like, you know, it is what it is. Too many false accusers in the world right now. Watch yourselves, you know what I mean? And if you have a platform to speak out about it, you should speak out about it. I'll answer some questions now. But first, I want 1,000 people watching this to use my code Trust the Science and watch the episode tonight. I will be on live again like I was last week, commenting and answering you guys to see what you think, especially about that back forth between Lauren Chen and Cabot Phillips. I think I just am interested in what you guys think. I'm always interested to hear your thoughts on my monologue. Candace, you're awesome. Creek Squad is Ryan Upchurch supporters. Oh, what's up, Creek Squad, if you're in here? Creek Squad are his fans. I like that. Does he live on a creek? Do I sound super ignorant? I like creeks. I fish. Thank you for sharing the truth. You are very welcome. You're always going to get it from me. Even nobody can advise me. My favorite Kanye tweet of all time, because it was just so me. he tweeted, he was like, I fired my manager because I can't be managed. That's me. Like, all these people around me can't do this to this. I'm just like, I gotta be Candace at the end of the day, at the end of every day. Monologues, you have no idea. Every time Daily Wire, I write a monologue. I'm like, I want to talk about this. A couple of weeks ago, when I want to talk about vaccines, they were like, we can't talk about vaccines. I can't do it. We can't. It's just like it's too sensitive. And I'm like, I want to talk about vaccines. Today, I want to talk about women that false accuse. Like, it is what it is. I am who I am. I will not be, put into a box. No one puts baby in the box. Where's baby in the corner? Nobody puts baby in the corner. I always just want to be honest with all of you guys about what I've seen, what I haven't seen, and who people are. Again, media says we're supposed to hate Jenelle Evans and David Eason. Thought he was a stand-up dude. I thought Jenelle Evans was a very sweet girl. She seems that she's turned a really big corner of her life. And trust me, I watched Teen Mom. I wish I could crap on her and be like, this drug addict showed up and was crazy. She was just really likable. And I hope you guys just give her a chance and hear her out. And just know that a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old is not a 29-year-old, and her life has changed. And, I like her. That's all I can say. Any other questions? Creek Squad people, getting a lot of that. Code is Trust the Science. Sending love from the UK. You guys know I love you. I married one of you. I love you guys. Our future president, thank you. I will petition. I'm not sure what that means. I hope that means you're going to head to dailywire.com/subscribe and put in my code, Trust the Science. You gotta trust science. Trust science. The only way you can do is trust science. Why, Candace, why are you gay? That's, okay. Oh no, I think someone's responding to somebody else. Please run for president. Thank you guys. Any other questions? Get Tommy on the show. Maybe. I think he sings music, all right? And he has a great voice. It's a great sound. We need a Candace documentary. Love ya. I'll give you guys 2 more minutes for questions in case you have any. Please keep talking about these topics. Thank you. I think they're really important. And I know somewhere in the world, my producer's probably watching, being like, Candace, I said that you probably should just stay out of this one, but I can't. I'm sorry. I gotta defend dudes. I just gotta. I think, men can be crappy, but you don't need to make them abusers because they're crappy. You know what I mean? You just be like, I don't like this dude. He sucks. That's it. You don't have to pretend that a guy did something to you. Candace, what's your opinion on Israel? You can watch the show tonight to get that. My opinion is part of the discussion of my monologue. Is stuff that happened in the past 2 years. Like I said, Jenelle Evans addresses the thing about the dog. I get that you guys are passionate about it, but you should know, by the way, that in a lot of different pieces of the world, which I talked about, because I'm very well traveled, shooting dogs is a thing. And I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm assuming you've never been to Africa. Your dog eats a potato chip off the table, they just go pop. Not saying it's a good thing, but it's I've seen places in the country where that's done as well, and it's interesting because I grew up on the East Coast, but, I have a lot of family that lives in the South, and we kind of talk about just different mentalities a lot, which is interesting. And like I said, she owned it. She apologized. She explained it. Watch it. Give your thoughts on it. How's Nashville? I love it. Lightfoot should be forced to resign. She's a racist. Love from India. I need more Indian fans. Can you guys go to dailywire.com/subscribe? Can I get 1,000 people right now to do dailywire.com/subscribe and to subscribe to my show? I'll be watching it live. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Kanye. Topics are always timely and relevant. Thank you guys so much for watching. dailywire.com/subscribe. Code Trust the Science.